Greetings everyone, Bharat here from Team Saarthi. Today I'll be your presenter for giving you a demo on how Saarthi works. Basically, Saarthi is an AI application that helps students study. In short, we can also say that Saarthi is basically a wannabe teacher. The goal is not to replace a teacher, but rather try to mimic one. We understood that education is a sector where AI needs to be implemented crucially because India being a highly populated country, there are so many students to teacher ratio. The ratio is just so huge that it's almost hard for every teacher to manage it. So by implementing Sardi in anywhere it could be, it actually makes the teacher's work a bit easier and ensures that the teacher is able to, do their job in a much easier and better way. Sardi just acts as a co-pilot just for teachers. So we also understood that language is a huge barrier, so we came up with multilingual support. And Sardi has this result evaluation and personalization feature. What it does is every time a student takes a quiz, it analyzes the result of the quiz and then gives them, okay, this is where you're lacking, so you need to go through this topic. So it does give personalization to that level. And we also know that the students are intelligent enough to learn on their own, but the issue is there's too much to learn and they don't know where to start. So that's where the scheduling feature comes in, and then it gives them a personalized learning path so they know how to proceed, acts as a guide. So this is the tech stack we have for our project, and these are the impacts and benefits. Now let's get to the demo. So now coming to the product itself. So this is the dashboard where the students will be looking at. So having all the intricate details that is required for the students from the first glance. So the moment you see it, these are the details that you will need. So let's say that the student wants to study the quadratic equation now. So let's go to study that. And these are the notes that are totally generated by AI in a format that can be actually sent to the UI and then can be populated in a well structured manner. We will go to the AI details now. Let's look at the UI for now. So this is how the UI is, and then let's say that the student has finished studying this and then he wants to go to take a quiz. So now the student solves this equation, chooses the option, and then clicks next, and then comes to the final question, clicks the option, and then goes to end quiz. So this is the result. Now what AI does is it just goes to the result and gives them a personalized assessment result. So once this is done, the student can go to the dashboard again. So now this student just studied the equations and then took the test on his own. But then most students won't be able to do so. So for the same thing, now let's assume a student who needs help. So that's where Saarthi AI helper comes in. And then this is Saarthi AI helper. So the user goes in to ask a doubt. So let's say the doubt is going to be help me here. And then it's going to explain the method of factorization. The moment the user gives this query, it's going to come up with the factorization solution. So this is how factorization is done. So this is pretty much it to the UI. So here we are seeing how to generate the content for the notes. So what here we do is like basically make sure that LLM will generate a particular notes for a student and then we populate the front end using it. We saw in the UI where it gave notes on quadratic equation. So we can just run this notebook once and it will ensure that the database is being populated with the notes for that particular chapter. So I'll just give you a glimpse of what we're doing here. So this is how every single question is being shown. So the notes are being prepared in such a way that it gives an example. It also gives a question for try yourself. So it just ensures that the learning is maximized here. And it is also done in a systematic way to ensure that no topics are being missed. So now let's go to the quiz generation. So what we do here is we make the LLM to generate a particular set of quizzes based on the user's weakness and knowing where they lack. So every time you enter quiz, these questions are being generated on live, and then we can see it's going to give us like this. The moment you ask questions, it's going to give you a question, choices, and everything is being done. And the answer is not being generated as such for now because it will be done in the result analysis part. So once the user attempts the quizzes, he will just be answering the questions, and once he gives end quiz, that's when the answers will be generated and the results will be evaluated. And once the evaluation is done, as shown in the UI, a personalized result has been shown, showing where they lack, and then helps us to get better by recommending those topics to be studied again. Now let's go to the AI bot where the user seeks for help. What we do here is we make the LLM to be trained on a particular chapter. So every single time a user comes to a particular chapter, that model is being filled with the knowledge from the particular chapter, as well as if the question the user is going to be asked, if the user asking is like relevant to the situation right now, it also ensures that it gets the answer from the website itself, website as in Google or internet basically. So the user is like, what is it? Let's say, let's give a max example here. The user wants to know what X does in chapter 1, but then the X is being also used in chapter 3. So if we make the model to be trained on the entire book, then there's going to be confusion on what X is the user referring to. So by doing the whole process in the way we are doing, that is chapter by chapter, we ensure that the model is fast enough because there's not too much data to be processed on, and there is also more context and relevance to whatever answer that's being shown up. So we run this, and then we have fed a science book here, and then we ask, what is mitochondria? What is the powerhouse of the cell? And the answer is the powerhouse of the cell is refers to as mitochondria. So that's pretty much to it. Thank you. All the APIs have been also built to ensure that there is a seamless integration between the front and back end, the database, and the AI models. They can be found in the GitHub. Thank you.